The number one habit that people need to adopt, and this is a habit I had for a very long time, and I've actually recently cleared it from my brain because I've reached a point where peace of mind is worth more than money. But every single time money is spent, you need to identify how your money was taken from you. And I say taken because money can't be made. Money is taken. Because the only people who can make money are the governments. If you're a government, you can make money. You can print it from thin air or a bank. But if you're a person, you're not making money. You're convincing other people to give it to you. You're taking money from others. So every single time you spend money on anything, you need to identify how it was taken from you. When you go and buy a coffee, don't just go buy the coffee and sit down. Sit and say, why did I buy this coffee? Okay, I really want coffee. Yeah. But then why did I go into this store and not that store? Is it better advertising? Does it have less of a line? Do they have seating? How did they convince me to come in here? How much did this coffee cost? £6. What's the profit margin on that? Probably £5.50, £5.80 probably by the time. The cup probably costs more than the coffee. The coffee is just water. How did they convince me to spend £6 in this place? And when you sit there and analyze and you all start to learn little lessons about business, you'll learn about the importance of the signage. You'll learn about the importance of there being no queue.
Yeah.
So that if you ever run a business, I'm telling you, I say with my business, my people all the time, faster. All the time, quicker.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple businesses that are physical. I'm like, I don't want to see a line. I don't want it to see empty because it looks bad. So when there's lines, you work fast. When we're down to 1 or 2 people, you take your time, you talk to the customer.
Right.
You keep it so there's like always one person at the thing. Like manage the line. Like people don't think about this stuff. No one's gonna sit and wait in a long ass queue. Maybe some idiots will, but people like me won't. We've got shit to do, right? My time's worth money. I'm not gonna stand and wait in a line. So you have to identify how your money is taken from you. If you start doing that with every single time you spend anything ever, you're gonna start to identify business opportunities and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna have coffee and you're gonna go, you know what? They could have sold cake and they didn't. Could I outcompete this place? Let's imagine I had the money to start a coffee shop right next door. How would I outcompete them? Well, I'd have cake because they don't have cake. Also, most people in here are businessmen. And the guy serving some dude. No, we need a cute waitress. His ass is fired. We need a chick. Put a chick here, put some cake in. Financial Times, business people in. People don't even think about this stuff. They don't use their brain ever. They don't ever look around and realize how they're spending their money. They don't look around and look at which businesses are successful. They don't look around and pay attention to anything. They don't look at the world and all the things that are happening and how it can benefit them. None of it. They don't look at any of it. They're too busy following the circus. That's why it's Clown World. They know all about the football results.
Right,
They know all about Rihanna.
Yeah.
They know all about that crap, all about Love Island. They'll talk about Love Island all day. The same people who will march and fucking for labor saying, oh, the Tories are bad, labor. Watch Love Island at night. No wonder you're broke. You're a fool. You're a dummy. And no matter what the government does, no matter what a government or a financial system, no matter what they put together, it's always going to be competitive to some degree. Unless it's communism, which has been tried and they're trying to bring back, and we know how that all ends. Communism ends very, very quickly in violence because there's no other way to enforce anything. But no matter what they do or what law they make, there's going to be people who work harder than you and they're going to make more money than you. So if you're going to be a lazy dummy watching Love Island and not paying attention every time you spend money and not try and think and use your brain, guess what? You're going to stay fucking broke.
I truthfully believe that the universe is a giving place and that if you actually really want something, you can have it. How much you want is how much you're prepared to sacrifice. So if you want $500,000 a year, you can definitely make that. And that level of stress you'll absorb for that money and the amount of headache you'll go through, if that's the amount you're prepared to accept for a happy life, you'll have it.
Do you think anyone can do that though?
I think that you have to pre-decide, right? So even my level of wealth comes with enormous stress. Governments are after me. Like most people are not mentally prepared for the bullshit I go through. So the number one factor that's going to decide how successful you are as a person is your ability to absorb stress, your stress level. The better you are at dealing with stress, the more problems you can fix, the more money you're going to make. So you have to decide where on that scale, because you could just be homeless and have no stress. Right? You could be a brokey and be on the dole and just, I'm broke, but nothing really troubles me. So you have to decide on that level where you want, how much stress you can possibly absorb as a man. And then if you truly want that level, you're going to get it. I believe any man can make anything they want depending. Any one of you here, I'd have no idea how much money you're making, but if you were to say, you know what, I'm throwing away my relationship, I'm throwing away my social life, and I'm going ham, I'm going nuts, and I don't care what they do to me, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make it. You'd make a bunch of money, but there's a bunch of garbage that comes with it. So you have to decide, right? So I think it's a conscious decision. Anybody can be as rich as they want to be. That's the true thing about it. A lot of the problem with people, especially in the world today, is they misunderstand the difference between a dream and a plan. And nothing good in your life is ever going to happen by accident. If you see a guy in fantastic shape, you don't say, how'd you get in great shape? And he goes,
It just happened.
Oops, I just fell. No, he ate a specific way. He trained a specific time. He did specific things for a specific outcome. And it's the same with finances. And most people who are broke, if you say, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. How are you going to get rich? One day.
I'll win the lottery.
Yeah, dumb shit. You have no plan. You have no plan whatsoever. No actionable steps. No, you're not doing things daily. You're just hoping some point in the future, God's going to just dump it on your doorstep. Guess what? It ain't gonna fucking happen. Life teaches you a lot, and I think a lot of people are not very self-reflective of their own lives. I don't think, you can read a book and that's great, but I think if you're living an interesting life, if you were to take half an hour a day to actually sit and go, okay, what good has happened to me today and what bad has happened to me today? Why have those things happened and how can I prevent them from happening again? Most people don't, that kind of crap doesn't even cross their minds. Like every day I will sit at the end of the day and go, what bad has happened to me today? How did that happen? Did I get caught slipping was I on the street and some guys come up to me and it could have been a dangerous situation? Like, how could I genuinely have improved my reality? And you can self-reflect and teach yourself everything.
But that's total ownership of your life, isn't it?
But you have to have.
But a lot of people don't.
You have to have ownership of everything good that's ever happened to you and everything bad that's ever happened to you. I have complete ownership for the fact I was canceled. I don't sit there and go, oh, they're lying about me. Yes, they're lying, but I still own it completely. They're lying about me and they're talking shit, but I own it and I took responsibility for it and I sat there and I took absolute accountability and I thought, okay, how can I turn this in my favor? And I beat them. If I'm walking down the street and it starts to rain, I take responsibility for that. I didn't have to be in rainy London. I could have been somewhere else. I could have brought an umbrella. Could have took a car. I am responsible for getting wet in the rain. And there's people out here who just don't take any responsibility for their own actions, let alone the weather. If you take complete self-accountability and you self-reflect, you can learn a whole bunch about life.
But could you not just say that it's raining, this is unfortunate?
No, but that's what losers do. It's raining, I'm unlucky.
I must
You got
be-
told.
Yeah, I must be a loser.
but that's what they'll say. I got wet because it rained, not my fault. Whereas I'll say I got wet because I did not prepare for the rain.
Didn't check the app.
I didn't check
get an umbrella.
Correct.
Didn't wear the right clothing.
Correct.
You knew where you were. You were in England. It was going to rain.
Correct. And I will punish myself for that, and I'll make sure it doesn't happen to me again. I will sit and actually consciously think about it. There's been times I've lost my car keys or something ridiculous and wasted 20 minutes of my life, and I'm furious, and I will make sure that never happens again. I am very conscious I'm conscious with systems about stupid shit, so I don't make mistakes ever. If you're a normal person with a normal wage and a normal income, and you're focusing on investments, you're making a big mistake, because there's no way you can invest 500 pounds that's going to grow into. Maybe you could pull off a lottery win shitcoin pump or something, but in general, with anything normal outside of this clown world garbage, which has vanished because the real world's back. Because the last 2 years have been clown world. Now the real world's back and it's hard to make money again. There's nothing you can put 500 pounds in without doing any work, and it's just gonna blow up and it's gonna make you a millionaire, right? So if you don't have significant money to invest, you shouldn't be focusing on investments. You should be focusing on how to make more money. And there's lots of ways to do that.
So when you say don't focus on investments, do you mean like have it in the background still and focus your main energy on making money, or not do it at all?
Let's say you're a normal person, you're working a normal job, you're making $4,000 a month and you pay all your bills and you're left with $1,000 a month. And then in your spare time, you're worried about how to spend that or how to invest that $1,000 a month.
Right.
I think that's a waste of time. You should be far more worried about spending your time trying to make more money.
Yeah,
because
100%.
$1,000 a month, it's just not enough money.
So you could invest that $1,000 in yourself.
Absolutely. Invest in knowledge or something like that. But investing in a coin, like I said, unless it's a lottery win. And before I go on to answer the question, I do want to make something clear. I think the last 2 years have been a fantastic period of wealth creation. The money printers were on full, and it was full clown world, and it was bullshit. And a lot of people made money during the clown world and spent it all, and they now think they're going to continue to make money in clown world
that's
ways.
not happening.
No, the real world is back. The brokies and the wagies, you're all going back to McDonald's. If you bought Pooh Dick coin and made $200,000, and you think you're going to be able to continue to do that for the rest of your life, you're a dumbass. That was a once in a lifetime generational gap where you could pull something off. And now it's back to the hard times. Even all the big tech companies, and the tech companies make money from the sky for free with pixels. They're cutting staff. But if they're cutting staff, then it's really hard. It's going to get very difficult to make money now. Watching content can be a double-edged sword. You can learn a bunch of things, and everyone at home here, I like to feel like they're getting value and they're learning things. But there's also the other edge of people who feel like if they just watch a bunch of shit and do nothing, that they're taking action. They feel better about themselves, but they're not actually taking action.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to balance the two carefully. Ultimately, it's going to be action that shapes your world. Ultimately, you're going to have to do something. So if you're watching something, you should be very conscious of what it is. I mean, I've created my reality. Absolutely. I've cut out all bullshit in my life.